Hey guys, welcome back to another live podcast of the Four Train Podcast. Yes, I am Israel Navarro with Anzo, and we're going to talk to you guys about a very interesting topic. Not only does it affect Yankees baseball, but it does affect Major League Baseball, considering with the turn of events of what Robert Manfred is going to announce very soon. This could be a very huge reality. And what is that? It's about having scabs in Major League Baseball. Now, if you're not familiar with this term, this is a term that's been around not only in baseball, but in all walks of sports. What this means basically is that, let's say, Jason Dominguez, Anthony Volpe, for example, who are right now in Florida doing training for the spring season, especially for minor league baseball. If Robert Manfred comes up and says there will be Major League Baseball, but the players associated to the player unions will not play, all minor league players are going to be called up. If this happens, Anthony Volpe, Jason Dominguez lose all rights to their merchandising. They lose all rights to video games. So, like, let's say they will be on MLB The Show under different names. They'll be called Will Smuckatelli or something like that. They will have completely names. They'll lose rights to merchandising. They'll lose so much benefits. And the other sad thing is that, let's say the Major League Baseball and the owners agree with the players. One of the things that could happen is that they can lose their rights to when they actually be called up to be major leaguers, not to get any benefits from the union. So they'll lose healthcare, pensions, any benefits that the union offers, they will lose it. I don't know how you feel about that, Anzo.
Hey, what's up, Israel? Hopefully everything's good. Just check your mic really quick. I'm just hear a little feedback from that, and while I reply back to you. Yeah, Israel. I brought up this topic of scab, right? I was like, what is that? I didn't even understand it. I had to look it up today and really try to understand that it's in all different sports, right? It's like also in the NFL, and it's happened in the NFL as well. And it's a big possibility that this could happen. I mean, just looking at the news that possibly Manfred will come out with really, really soon is that he's probably going to announce that spring training is going to be delayed. So this possibility of scab happening, I mean, that actually kind of scares me. Like, I wouldn't want that, but it would be pretty entertaining. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's going to be pretty entertaining if that does ever happen. Seeing like all the baseball players go with a different name or a weird altered name on MLB The Show. I mean, that I'll just rather create myself. I'll just create Anzo on the game and then just play that. I mean, it would just be so ridiculous to have to deal with that. But yeah, I'm going to throw it back at you.
Yeah, for sure. One of the interesting things that we do see is this has happened. Very interesting. Mark Teixeira, I think 2 years ago, spoke about this when he came into as a rookie. One of the things he learned was there were union guys that were in favor of the Players Association. Then there were guys that were against it. And one of the coolest examples, someone who did not benefit from the union, and it's very interesting, he did not get elected into the Baseball Hall of Fame, was Barry Bonds. If you guys remember in the game 2005 MVP baseball, Barry Bonds was not featured in the game. You would see his number. You would see someone that's like the video game would have someone looking at it looked like Barry Bonds, but it wasn't Barry Bonds. It was under a different name. So it has happened. There has been players who actually have become scabs during the years because they've been eager to play professionally, or it was the advice their agent gave them whatsoever. But it has happened, and especially considering back in 1994, which was the last time Major League Baseball went to strike, we didn't have a World Series. That affected Buck Showalter, which he considered he had the greatest Yankee team at that time, which affected Don Mattingly, making it to a World Series. It just affected a lot of people missing out on the opportunity, especially a Cleveland Brown, which had very young Manny Ramirez, who was also considered another favorite team to make it to the World Series. So we missed out on that. But when it came to 1995, a lot of players, so there were some players that actually did become scabs because they didn't want to wait until the union, obviously the union, the Player Association, and the owners coming to an agreement. So it could be a reality that is going to pick up, considering we don't know what it's going. We just recently had a tweet with Garrett Cole saying that there's 100+ players showing up in Arizona for the player unions while the owners are in Orlando, Florida. So we don't know what's going on yet. We could, obviously, the huge speculation we have in hand is that there will be a delay coming into the season. Obviously, spring training is going to be a delay, considering next week is officially when pitchers and catchers should have reported in. So we're going to have that announcement, and we might, if it continues going on and the owners don't want to lose money, and considering minor league players are the ones that are currently training, then they can be like, well, we're going to kick off major leagues and we're going to use our minor league players if they want to. And that could be a huge reality, especially coming into March and the beginning of April.
That would be crazy if you have, Jason Dominguez and all these guys, if they opted or if they said, yeah, okay, I'll play in the majors. I mean, also, what would that do with their relationship with their future teammates, going forward? I mean, you have 100 players in Arizona being united and saying, no, we're strong in this. I can imagine the minor leaguers will probably do the same, right? I mean, they'll probably want to, these are their future teammates. They want to be on the same page. I don't even know. I mean, would they do an open tryout? Like me and you can go and try out for the Yankees? Like if scab were to really happen, is that like a real possibility?
Well, it wouldn't need to be a tryout happening because remember, roughly each team has 4 minor league teams with 40-man rosters, so they have 160 players that they can actually choose just to make a major league teams, and then obviously go through and sign players to a minor league deal. Like, one of the options, scary enough, is they could even Carlos Correa, let's say he wants to go that route, he can sign technically with the Yankees or any team to a minor league deal, and then because they decide this option, he can go on to play major. Obviously, I know Carlos Correa with his agent will probably tell him don't do this, but we can see the reality that this is something that could happen. It has happened before Major League Baseball where some players chose that route, but the question is, will the current other people that are a part of the Yankee organization will actually go through and actually do this? That is the question we have to ask yourself. Are these guys young enough or naive in a way? Because it is being naive. You're going to step away, losing your pension. You lose your pension. You lose, obviously, merchandise licensing. You lose all these things that do help, which a part of the union's arguing right now. For example, is right now what I'm rocking, a jersey. Players are actually demanding they want a little commission from what they sell in the merchandise because currently they don't. So imagine Derek Jeter for an instant. All the paychecks the Yankees owe him because he's still selling them merchandise for them.
Damn. And didn't you say, you were telling me about this the other day, about A-Rod wanting to get a piece of that and then MLB being like, no, we're not doing this?
Yes, because at the time when A-Rod, before coming to the Yankees, he was supposed to be a Red Sox. It would have been a scary thing having A-Rod shortstop in Boston. And he was saying, yeah, I will cut my pay because the Red Sox couldn't absorb his contract. I'll take my pay if we can work a deal with I get my merchandise paid. Obviously, Major League Baseball stepped in. The Red Sox were like, okay, we have to back off. And this is where the Yankees came in because they were like, oh, yeah, we can take his contract in. And then, lo and behold, we have number 13, Alex Rodriguez, third baseman for the Yankees.
Damn. I mean, that's a pretty interesting topic if A-Rod were to have gone to the Red Sox. But, I mean, yeah, imagine if the MLB allowed that. Then all these players, Derek Jeter would be demanding it. All of these greats, like whatever, like Trout would be like, oh, hell no, I need $400 million. And on top of that, my jersey sells forever.
Well, here's the thing. These players could get 10 years deals, but then they don't have to demand the $400 million contract, let's say, for an instant, because they can be like, all right, you get 10 years, 300 million or 200 millions, but you're going to get 50% of all merchandise you sell. And considering, let's say, the Yankees, which is a very we do sell very good our merchandise, these players would actually enjoy that. There would be a cutback for them. So these are things that go, and obviously some players are looking to build their brand, which I found it funny in an interview recently that the Knuckleheads did with Derek Jeter, and Derek Jeter said, if you want to build a brand, start winning. Don't worry about making a brand. Win first and then build your brand. So...
Yeah, right. I mean, you see all these other players that haven't won anything yet. I mean, they have their brand, but really their brand becomes something when they actually make something of themselves in the game. you know?
Exactly.
So yeah, no, Israel. I mean, that's a real interesting topic about scabs. I mean, I guess the NFL, that made sense because NFL doesn't have the minor leagues, right? NFL doesn't
Yeah,
have
it
anybody,
does. Yeah,
so they had to go out there and find. Like, there was a good movie about it, right? I think it was
yes,
called
30 for 30
Invincible.
document on
Oh, well,
ESPN on
that
it.
too. And
Yeah.
then, but wasn't there a movie too, right? Invincible with Mark Wahlberg. Was that something
Well,
about
no,
it?
that was a guy that they just saw on the street that actually played good football, and they gave him the chance to try out, and he made it onto the team like a regular player.
Yeah, but they were
Obviously,
trying to get everybody. They were doing
exactly.
like
They did an open tryout for the city,
okay,
and
but that
that's
wasn't scab. That wasn't
no,
like
that wasn't scab. That was an
uh,
actual just tryout to make it add players to the roster.
damn. But that was crazy. That's a crazy
Yes.
story. If the MLB did something like that, I mean, we might just go try it.
Oh yeah, I would do it. It's an experience once in a lifetime. It gets you feel like I tried out for the Yankees.
You just got to get your knuckleball. I feel like that's a decent. If you can get a knuckleball as a
Yep.
pitcher, you're good. You're good to go.
Or you just show you're the next Mariano and just have a solid slider that could just be the one pitch.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Yep.
I feel like a lot of international teams would, or a lot of players from different teams or leagues would just try to make their way in there. But
yeah.
it's an interesting topic, and hopefully it doesn't get to that point, right? Hopefully they can make an agreement, and maybe we miss part of spring training or whole spring training, and then we go right into the season. And well, I guess that would be next week, where we're going to talk about what Manfred actually ends up saying and give you guys an update. But I think this will wrap up the video right here, guys. I mean, hopefully you learned something. This was Anzo, and that's Israel. And make sure to comment down below. Let us know what you guys think about scab, what you guys think about Manfred, and everything that's happening. Do you actually think the players should get a cut in the jerseys, or do you think that's for the owners and that's the profit and that's their investment that they made, and so they should receive all the benefits? But let us know what you guys think down below. Make sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed this video and you actually learned something or gained some value. As always, make sure to check in the description down below and get $20 off of SeatGeek on SeatGeek, so that you can actually go to a game this season, because there is going to be games this season. And so make sure to save some money. And so make sure to use code ANZO, ANZO, so you get that $20 off. And Israel, any last words before we close this off?
Well, I want to pay tribute to a former member of the Pinstripes who just recently passed away, Gerald Williams. For many of you guys probably don't remember, he didn't have a huge career with the Yankees, but one of the key things was he was basically Derek Jeter's brother. Derek Jeter was being bullied in the minor leagues, and Gerald Williams was the guy that defended Jeter, backed him up, and ever since then, he became close friends with Jorge Posada, Bernie Williams, all these guys in the core four, because of just how respectful he was as a player in the locker room and a leader he was as a person. So that's why, if you saw recently, Derek Jeter actually made a comment about it, because it's he lost his brother, and Derek Jeter took that seriously. So God bless, and my condolence to Gerald Williams' family at this time.
Yes, rest in peace. Yeah, you never want to see anyone pass away or anything like that. I mean, also today we figured out Jeremy Giambi as well passed away.
Awesome.
So rest in peace to those souls, and and to the families. Hopefully, everything is fine with them. Obviously, going through any of that, it's hard enough, but hopefully they're in a better place and doing well. They gave us a lot of memories in the game of baseball that we love. So thank you for that. And yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up right here, Israel. Thank you for stopping on by and joining us. Make sure to join us again next week, guys, as we come out with daily videos about the Yankees or just baseball content in general. So this was Anzo. Make sure to follow me at Anzo Media on Instagram and Twitter. And Israel, you can follow him right there, Israel Navarro. And yeah, well, I guess we'll see you guys later.
All right, see you guys.
See you.